All right. What is this? Oh, it's a compressor. Never saw this before. So I didn't even know that I don't have a spare tire. So, all right. So this is 13. All right, 10. It should be somewhere here. 14, 12, 10. It helps to have some kind of a dirty laundry or a rag in your car. All right, and we need 13. Yeah, that's my air raid. Love this thing. So now, of course, I know. See, that's how you. That's how I broke these. See, you pull up the center. They just pop out. And again, this is what it looks like on a 2018 Challenger. So much easier than those guys over there. They had to remove all this. You know, there's a bunch of pins in there. They had to remove the filter, cabin filter. On a Challenger, it's right here. You know, so those are 10 millimeter when they told me, and this is 13. And one way is to undo this first and then try to take it out. But what I saw one guy did, he kept this, but he just yeah, see, I don't have enough space in here. So okay, I'm gonna remove the so yeah, 13 millimeter and this one. There you go. And now we need 10. Maybe I'll take this out first. Forgive me. It'll give me more room in here, 'cause it's pretty tight. Wait a second. Oh, okay. The bolt actually is on the frame. Come on. I still cannot turn it with my fingers. All right. Okay, so I have to remember that the bracket I don't know if there's holes on the other side, but just in case, so I don't screw up. All right, now the tricky part is to disconnect the connectors. There should be some button somewhere here, some center button that you're supposed to push. No, yeah, it doesn't work. You have to disconnect the bottom one first. Very tight in here, very, very tight. Well, I tried my best, scratched all my left hand over this stupid corner in here, and yeah, that's what they were lifting on this other charges, but I don't see how it can, you know, help me here. But basically what happened is that I opened this latch over here, and now it doesn't want to go off. I cannot take it off, and it doesn't want to go back. And I tried all I can. I tried to take the bottom one out. It's just not enough space. you know, and this thing is killing me over here. So I called the OK Tire. I said, guys, can you send somebody in here? And they said, not so fast. Well, they said, we can if you bring the car here, we can I said, guys, I'll give you $100. How is that? You know? But I cannot do it. Son of a gun. You know? I thought the cable, the bypass cable would be the most difficult thing, but I was wrong. So now I just hope the car will start. I couldn't reconnect the bracket because the handle is out. Well, I feel like an idiot, but what do you do? I think I already cracked that connector. And the door for some reason didn't want to work, like the right door was sticking. Like, what? Turns out when I turned off the battery, the right door stopped working properly. Okay, so now we can just disconnect this for now. We'll do it later. But basically that's the problem. The problem is this thing. Yeah, this is the bottom, right? So now I know I didn't have to mark it over here because there's only 2 holes. You see, that's where the bolts go in, right? And over here you don't have a bolt, you just have a rubber grommet. But that's the problem. Like this thing is so tall, you know. So this is the replacement one, right? So this thing is so tall and there's not enough space in there. I don't know. So like I said, I'm afraid to break it. I hope it starts. Alright. We have ignition. Well, I didn't change anything, right? Except I put in that cable. Oh, check this out. My whole radio reset. Son of... where's my... what? Where's my satellite radio now? Navy. What the heck? HD navigation. Check this out. Everything reset. All my equalizers, basically. Yeah, I'll deal with this later. So right now, let's just get to that. I'll tell them. I am disappointed in myself today, but so the PCM is just sitting there. It cannot go anywhere because there's it's like a pocket, but we're gonna drive slowly. I just hope I didn't break it, but honestly I don't know how anybody can take it out. But I know these guys have, of course, they're professionals, they have experience with this. So yeah, basically the way it sits in there, Chrysler or Fiat doesn't want you to mess with it, you know, because if that was meant to be tackled by a non-professional like me, it probably would have been in an easier place, you know. But this over there, so I thought I would finish in 2 hours because I have to start looking for a load for my truck, but actually this is good. So now as I'm waiting over there, I can go and I can play with my computer and go to my load board and see if I can make some money for the next mod. And the next mod is long tube headers. And by the way, I'm not sure if I mentioned this or not, but for some reason the most popular Challenger or Charger is not 6.4 but 5.7. And then you see all these guys spending $10,000–$15,000. Like, I'm not kidding. I see one guy, he has this 5.7, so it's RT, right? Mine is also RT, but mine is called Scat Pack, right? There's I say that my car is a Challenger 392. Actually, it's not 392. It's called RT Scat Pack 392. So there's another, like there's a different trim, which is more expensive, I think. Like there's a TA, there's I think it says SRT over here. You know? But actually this is good. Like, I'm a big believer in doing things step by step, you know. Like, it's too much stress sometimes to do something you never did before and try to attempt the whole thing, you know. So I did the cable and I'm pretty proud of myself because of that. But it would be impossible for me to do that if I hadn't watched the videos on YouTube. And you see, I was able to improvise a little bit and use that bungee cord, and it helped. Alright, I just want to go inside and buy a protein bar or something and maybe grab another coffee. Usually I try to have only one coffee. I already had one, but today is a stressful day. And actually this PCM looks pretty clean, you see. Looks nice, doesn't look like a junk PCM, but they did say that you're not getting a brand new one, but you know, I don't care. Like, mine is not brand new either, right? Because my car is 2 years old. So as long as it works and I can put in a tune, and that's the whole point, right? You do this so that you can tune your car with this, because old Chrysler after 2015, they're not tunable unless you change the PCM. But what I wanted to say, sorry, I got distracted, about the 5.7. So they buy these 5.7 cars, right? And of course they start modding them, and like pretty extensively, you know. They like this guy, I watched a couple of videos of this guy. He put in manifold from my car, from 392, exhaust manifold. Then he went to short tube headers. Then he went to long tube headers. Of course, he has the exhaust. He has the cold air intake. And then he started doing this, changing the PCM. But then some of these guys, you know what they do? What they call camming. So they change the cam, which is a major piece of work. And you know, it all adds up, and they spend like $7–10,000, and all they're trying to do is they're trying to match the power of 392 engine 6.4. And I made a couple of comments actually on that guy's channel. I said, you know, like the viewers of your video, they should consider like how much money you spent on these mods. Wouldn't it be easier to buy a Scat Pack 392 right off the bat? And so the 5.7 has 300 horsepower, I believe. This car has 485 horsepower. Like, there's a huge difference, you know. And it's not just the size of the engine, but the whole car is optimized. Like, there's a lot of things they did to this car to get so much power out of it. Like, basically they already did all the work, right? So ideally you buy this car, if you're happy with 485 horsepower, it should be enough for pretty much anybody, unless you want to smoke your tires. Then you don't even need to do anything, because Chrysler engineers were already pretty smart about the engine. And by the way, for example, my car already has shorty headers. Like, the manifold looks pretty much like a shorty headers, you know. So that's why some people, they spend money and they buy these shorty headers. And then I was reading on the forum, and people were saying, hey, like, you already have shorty headers. And I look at the picture of my exhaust manifold, and sure enough, it looks pretty much exactly like something you would spend $400 or $500 on. And then, okay, maybe you pick up like 2.5 horsepower, you know, because that one is a bit more, like, allows more movement of gases, I don't know. But it's pretty much, this car, it's pretty much optimized for performance, you know. And the only reason I started modding this is because I wanted it to be a bit louder. So I always change the exhaust. I like Flowmaster sound, and so I put Flowmaster at bigger pipes, cold air intake. I always do that. And then I always install a tune. When I had a Mustang, there was no big deal. You just buy like something like a Hypertech tuner. But unfortunately, on Chrysler vehicles, it's a whole different ballgame. You have to deal with this, you know. And of course, tuners are much more expensive on Chrysler. But I'm very happy with this, by the way. Very, very happy. I'm a traditional kind of guy. I'm used to regular wrenches, and then of course everybody uses these sockets. But yeah, it does make things easier. Alright, so let me go and grab a snack. Just need to find my... what do you call it? Mask. Because I cannot go inside the store without a mask. And I have no idea what I did with it. Oh, there you go. Yeah, we're gonna leave it like this for now. Just cover it up a little bit. Alright, to be continued. Well, I'm at the OK Tire, my favorite place. And you would think that, again, it's OK Tire, right? So it's a tire place, but no, they have general, they do general auto repair. And they're super busy. Check this out. I like that. I like that kind of hair. I think maybe I should do something like that. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure it would look good on me. But you know, I'm getting tired of this haircut. And one thing I noticed, of course, is that as I get older, it takes longer and longer. It takes less and less time to comb my hair, but it takes longer and longer to wash my face in the morning. And so yeah, I went inside, and my buddy Christian, who owns this, I said, Christian, can you please squeeze me in? I'll wait. I have to look for a load on my computer anyway. You know, my tracking load. So I said, can I do it outside? And he says, yeah, just he says, I'll send the guy out, just show him what you want done. And I said, yeah. And I said, if they can do it outside, I'll just disconnect the battery. Basically, I'll make everything ready. All he has to do is just unclip those connectors and put the new one in. right? And again, I'll reinstall everything else, all those fascias and all those plastic things. I said I'll give you $100 cash, but I don't have cash yet. I'll have to drive over to an ATM, and then of course once we install this, we're gonna do this. That's the most fun part. And again, I hope that, like, of course, again, the worst case scenario, okay, I'm pretty confident that these guys will be able to take it out because they have all kinds of tools, you know, they're professionals, they do this for a living. Maybe they'll have to take some other part out of there, I don't know, because yeah, it's too tight in there, but I feel positive they can do it. But what's the worst thing that can happen is, by the way, where's my instruction sheet? Oh, it's over there. Yeah, the worst thing that can happen is this. If above does not resolve your issue, your PCM will need to come back to PowerTech for reprogramming. You know? And now imagine, I pay them money, they put this in, right? And then let's say the car does not start, because that's the, you know, that's like the brain of the car. It's a very serious thing, you know. That's why I really don't want to break any of these connectors, or, you know, or bend those pins. That would be like the worst thing you can do, is bend these pins, you know. It's kind of like it's like a real computer, right? Just like a regular port, kind of like looks like a printer port, you know, like on old computers they had these printer ports. They were like this, like huge, and that's what it is. But those connectors are massive, as you saw, right? So I'm just praying inside that first of all that they can do it. Otherwise they'll send me to the Chrysler, and of course the Chrysler says, no, are you crazy? You want us to change the PCM on your car, so you want to avoid all your factory warranty. But yeah, I'm not worried. Like these cars, unlike what most people think, American cars are very reliable. I never had any issues with Ford Mustang, with Dodge Ram, with Ford F-150. So this one, in 2 years I had one issue where this thing stopped working, right? So these buttons, I could not turn on the sport mode, I cannot turn on and off the radio, but these buttons worked, right? So I could still adjust the volume, and I could adjust the channel over here. That's my channel on the radio, so that you don't have to touch this when you drive. It's pretty cool, you know. But yeah, this thing stopped working, so they had to replace this panel over here, and they did it under warranty, and that was the only issue. I never had something like this. I think Mustang was a bit more reliable, because Mustang, in this, I own it for the same, I think, couple of years. I never had any issues, but on that one, Jesus, I spent a lot of money. So just following my own advice, I bought a V6, but actually I was pretty happy with the power. But on that one I went as far as changing the axle ratio. Actually the car really came to life when I put in a 373 ratio, and that one was a manual tranny as well. But it was not as good as this one. This is considered the best manual transmission, Tremac, and it's a 6-speed. And I think, yeah, on Mustang had a 6-speed, but it was some kind of I think it was a gear track, you know, like Chinese transmission, which is not as reliable as this one. So yeah, nothing's wrong with American cars. So if my warranty is voided, I don't care, I'll just pay my own money, because the chance of something breaking is very, very remote. Alright, so now we're just waiting for a mechanic so I can show him what needs to be done, and after that I can go and disconnect the battery. Really like that socket wrench. Yeah, we are recording everything. Don't be surprised. The guy's looking at me. Why is he holding camera? Everything is being recorded. This is like a big... remember that movie with Jim Carrey? Where his whole life was one big TV show and he had no idea what was going on. So that's kind of like my life. But yeah, once I talk to the guy, I can focus on my trucking life and forget about the car for a second, and I need to log on to my computer and start looking for a load. Need to make some money so I can put in those long tube headers. And these guys said they can do it. It's going to take whole day, about $1,000 Canadian, so no big deal. $700 US. And I'm getting, I haven't decided yet, either BBK headers with meat pipes, like off-road meat pipes, or I'm leaning towards stainless works. Stainless works with ceramic coating or thermal coating, so this will keep the headers looking like new, you know, all the time, and also it'll keep the heat in the engine bay down, and so all the heat will be inside the pipes, which means that the gases will move faster, which actually is a very good thing, because, you know, the faster the gases are moving out, the more power you have, you know. So I'm really looking forward to that install. And of course the car will be a bit louder, which can be a bad thing if you live in a neighborhood with cars right next to your house, you know, I mean, with the houses cramped together. But I don't have a situation like that, so I'm okay. I want to make it louder. Cool. The mechanic came out, he took a look, and he says it's basically, this is supposed to go all the way down. He says something looks like it's screwed up, you know, it's twisted. And he came up with this idea. He says you have to take this off. And so I took the pins out, like these pins over here. That's what's holding this top part. See? I remove this, and then I use the 13mm socket to remove these. So there's 2 bolts in here and 1 bolt on the other side. So hopefully now I can lift this out of the way. I think there's still something in there. No, it just lifts. Yeah, I think we should be able to just move this like this. Yeah, okay. So now he should be able to, there's much more room now. Oh wow, beautiful. Alright, now I'm gonna, so basically I'm doing all the work. I just need them to not to break it, because if I break, like I specifically reread that return instructions, and they said if you break any of these plastic ones, that's it. They're not gonna accept it. They're gonna return it back to me when I try to send them as a core, and they're gonna charge me $600. Now I just hope that I'll be able to put everything back together without too many spare parts. Without too many spare parts left, you know, because that's never good. Let's say when you take something off and you have 5 bolts, right? Let's say, and then when you put everything back together, for some reason you have 1 bolt left, you know. So that's why, of course, it's very important to make sure you put bolts in the place where they won't fall off, or you're not gonna forget them. So, but all I have is clips. I have clips from this plastic part, and then I have 3 bolts only. That's everything that holds that metal bar, and that's it. I just pray that he can take those off without breaking these, but now there's a lot of room. I'm pretty sure now he should be able to do it. And then I'll just ask him to reconnect the connectors, and I can do the rest. I just need to get the grommet from there to here and attach the bracket, and then I can, it's gonna sit like this, no, like this. It's gonna sit like this inside the car, and it just rests on this grommet on the bottom like this. And there's just one big bolt. Yeah, these two, they connect the bracket, and only one bolt connects that bracket to the car. So anyway, a very exciting upgrade. And it's out, and the new one is in. So basically that connector that I screwed up, I pulled it out. The top part of the connector was out, so we had to put it back in, like on that one. Basically the guy had to lock it back and then, you know, make it proper form again, and then he was able to slowly wiggle it out. So now all I gotta do is I gotta connect these three massive bolts, so 13 millimeter. And like I said, the biggest concern is that I don't want to have any loose bolts left after this installation. All right, looks like these are going in. Okay, and this one goes in here. I think it's this one. Yeah. Okay. Come on. All right, I think now it's in. That's not good. I know that thing, this bolt was supposed to be on the top hold on, have to redo it. Okay, the buys are installed, so now you see that piece is in the proper position. This rubber thing has to be on top of this. That's what it used to be. So now we can install these grommets. They should just go in. Three down, 2 to go. And that's it. Yes. All right. So now what we got to do is we got to install this. So now we need the 10mm socket. $10 millimeter, where are you? I love this thing, except sometimes it's tricky, it doesn't want to go in. Is this 10? Yeah, it's 10. All right, so now yeah, I wish I didn't bring any lubricant. Okay, how was it here? I think it was like this. Yeah. Uh-huh. Last thing I want to do is have this fall inside the cylinder block. That won't be good. There's not enough room. Son of a... All right, now we just need to connect this. And like I said, why have a, oh, I broke it again, son of a, that's what happened. Like, they're so flimsy, you know. Yeah. All right, let me go ask the guys if they have this. Yeah, they don't have the same type. So he gave me this, but this is, it's much bigger. It doesn't want to go in there, but I have one in place. I'm just gonna stop by Chrysler and ask him again for a favor. So I think we're done here. So the bar is reconnected. So okay, so this goes in my, before I forget. All right, where's my instruction sheet? All right, so this goes in here. All right, that's my old. Okay, so remove the negative terminal, remove original PCM, swap all brackets, install modified PCM. All right, so that's 4 steps. Step 5, reinstall negative battery terminal. Okay. Step 6. Reload the junk in your trunk. All right. Turn the ignition. Okay. Yeah, now it's important. Let's go follow this. Where's my program? That's going to be the next step. Turn the ignition to the run position. Press the start button twice without hitting the brake. Keep on for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now you may start the vehicle. Are you sure? Oh my God. Okay, it starts, and now verify you have throttle response by pressing the gas. The RPM should react as normal. And check this out, we have a check engine light. Son of a... Alright, check engine light. That's not good. If the throttle doesn't respond, please attempt the following. Turn ignition off. Okay, hold on. If the throttle doesn't respond, attempt the following. Press and hold your throttle to the floor. Allow it to crank for about 5 seconds. Release throttle and return to start. Why are we not starting? No messages. Oh, it has 0. Why are we 3 kilometers? Well, that's no big deal. Basically, now the throttle response is there. Throttle body codes are common. You can do any of the following to erase the stored codes. You may remove the battery's negative terminal again for a few minutes. You can use your Diablo Super Chips tool to view and erase stored DTC. And turn the vehicle during this process. Tune the vehicle during this process. The codes will be erased automatically. Yeah, so I just hope that, yeah, it should disappear. Because, you know, yeah, this is a big upgrade. You know? Yeah, the car starts, the throttle works. Just check engine light, that's nothing. It's actually, it's, you know, check engine light, it kind of make things look comfortable in winter, you know. Tune vehicle. Please ensure the key is in the run position, but do not start the... Okay. So yeah, now it's gonna be a long procedure here. Like the guy was showing with his charger, he had to do this like 20 times, you know. See, easy tune, 93 octane. Here we go. Designed to add power. Use selected tune. Yes. Change tire size. No. Remove speed limiter. No. The i3 will now read the backup from the vehicle. Tap yes. Okay, so it's reading original backup. That's the one I did when my PCM was still in. You see? And what I like about this one is that I don't like things to be connected to my port all the time. I have enough of that in my semi-truck because I have the data logging, e-log. But on this one you just tune it, program it, and then you disconnect it, and then you just store it for future use. But the PCM is in. Now it's all that check engine light. It's all about tuning. So I can. It's a good. By the way, it's the other guy said it's a good thing to do this when you are in the middle of the week, like Monday through Friday, because if something happens, you know, you can call DiabloSport and ask for help. Okay, power. Do not start the vehicle. What is this? I can hardly see this. Okay. Okay, PCM exporting file. That's the backup file. I guess it's exporting it on the new PCM, which is good. DiabloSport install the tune. Yes. Apply selected tune with tire size. Yes. Tuning complete. You might unplug the tool and enjoy driving your vehicle. What? So tuning is complete. But I didn't see the section with the DTC codes. Hold on, let me just double check something here. Scan tool. Please ensure the key is in the run position. Show, what is this? Show trouble codes. Active supported trouble code 0. Clear trouble codes. Clear diagnostic trouble codes. Yes. Cleared. So there's nothing. Perfect. Alright, so we can disconnect it. Oh shoot. I disconnected the whole thing. Alright, I think we're good. Now we just have to go. Okay, that's my PCM. I'm gonna put it in there. Yeah, if I have if I keep getting those, yeah, I can try to detach the battery again. All right. I don't see the check engine light anymore. Alright, let's go for a ride. I gotta take the money out of the bank machine to pay this guy. I'm gonna lose this 13mm socket. Alright, so now we have 93 tune. 93 tune. Pretty good. It feels like now in a regular mode it feels like sport mode. Huh. Alright, I think it's working. I just have to find back my my satellite radio. Where the heck is my set? Oh, here we go. There we go. So AM, FM, SXM, Sirius. Alright, so now I just need to get the money out of the bank machine, give him the promised $100, and we're gonna ship the And of course, you know, it always helps when you disconnect the battery, because it, you know, now the engine and the computer are relearning. Because some guys were doing this, they were pulling this fuse, because, you know, after like 50 cycles, right, your car can get stuck in this low power mode, like when you're always driving. When you're always driving in the city, you know, when you're driving in the city, nice pants. So when you drive in the city, your car pretty much, you know, accept these constant. What did I lose in there? Something fell off. Except this low acceleration and stuff like that. Alright, so the PCM is in the mail. Sent it by UPS, ground. Going to Florida. Surprisingly, it's only 32 bucks with the signature, which is pretty cool. I thought it would be like $50–60, and I sent it by UPS instead of, let's say, using a Canada Post, because I have 14 days to return. And so far, I didn't even try yet the sport mode, but the car definitely feels, you know, snappier. Yeah, this is a regular mode, and of course it always helps. Like I started saying, it helps when you disconnect the battery. The wheels were spinning. I could feel the rear of the car going sideways on the dry pavement. Like, I'm serious, I'm not making this up. Like, I know a lot of people like, oh geez, why would you do that to a nice car like that? Why would you change the exhaust, you know, do all this stuff? Well, you read the title, right? The title says Challenger 392 6.4 liter. If you're not into cars, like muscle cars, you know, into performance, just don't watch the video, right? So, like, I just don't understand some people. If you know, when I look at, of course, I watch a lot of videos myself on YouTube, and I look at the title, right? So why would I watch something that I'm not interested in? Like, waste my time and then just leave thumbs down, you know? I only watch what I want. So nobody's wringing your hands. Yeah, I thought, you know, this street has only one set of lights. So I thought I would test, you know, get at least past 49 kilometers an hour. Wow, I cannot believe this is a regular mode. A regular mode, not even sport mode. So basically now, the regular mode became what I had as a sport mode before. Alright, so this guy is turning, so that means that we're gonna go straight. Because over there, it's a back road with no lights, so at least I can push the throttle a little bit. And time now is already 20 to 12, and I still didn't have a chance to look at the load board, because I need to find financing for the next mod, right? Like I mentioned, long tube headers. But of course, why these tuners work is because when they build these engines, like especially this one with 485 horsepower, they're not gonna give you all the power, right? Because their main concern is the emissions, exhaust, sound, right? Because there's certain restrictions on how loud the car can be. They closed the ramp. Son of a gun. Or is it open? No, I think it's open. Yeah, the ramp to 401 East. Because that's what I usually use for testing purposes. Because yeah, that ramp, you can accelerate up to 100 kilometers an hour legally, and it goes like this and it goes up. Oh yeah, the car is alive now, guys. Of course, it was a long hassle, and the tuner was $5.50 US, and then of course you have to pay for shipping. Okay, so 32 bucks Canadian, which is just, I don't know, 25 US. No big deal. So pretty much like $600. Oh, and I paid, we agreed on 100 bucks Canadian for the work, but I gave him 120 just because I'm a nice guy, and they really helped me out because I had no appointment, nothing, right? But of course I did most of the work. The guy just told me what to do, you know, which is pretty cool. All right, so please don't go on the ramp. If this guy is going on the ramp to 401, we're screwed. But oh, okay, so the green light, green arrow is off. But that guy, I'm just looking in the mirror here. No, he went straight. He went straight, but you know, this is cool. Basically what I do is I can hang a left, right, like a U-turn, and when I do a left, that means that I have green arrow, so everybody else is stopped, so that means that this road is usually empty, right? And then I can accelerate up that, my favorite ramp, and the road goes right, and then it goes uphill, you know. So I know how the vehicle performs usually, and I always use this spot, you know. When I had a Mustang, I had a Dodge Ram. Oh, check this out. So probably this container guy, I guarantee it, he's going back to Toronto. So which means that he's gonna take this ramp. Winnipeg, Manitoba, the side of the truck says. Manitoba, what are you doing here? And so we're looking in the mirror. I guarantee that this guy is going to 401. Let's see. No, he's going straight. And once again, maybe I should, shall I try sport? Okay, let's try sport. How bad can it be, right? But I never had this in second gear on dry pavement. The rear wheels were spinning. Like, that's, you know, that's the first result. That's what you wanna accomplish. Yeah, see, these guys are still turning. Unbelievable. Who needs a supercharger? Jesus. My exhaust sounds now. It sounds louder. where I was this morning. This was my first stop. Wow. So no check engine light. So check engine light disappeared after I did this, you know, this other thing I did. Actually, it helped when they said push the throttle to the floor for 5 seconds and try to start. You know, and I try to start, right? And that basically it has to do with the throttle body and your computer, and that's why sometimes you get a code. You know, when you change the throttle body, you get a error code. But it disappeared. Everything is cool. So yeah, I feel relieved, you know, that I didn't screw up too much, because I was really afraid, like I was going nowhere with that PCM. I look at this. I scratched all my hand against that sharp plastic. It was very painful, and I had no idea that you can take out that sway bar. I didn't even know I had a sway bar, so now I know. And there's only 3 bolts and 4 plastic. Oh, that just reminds me. So after this, after I go and work on my trucking life a little bit, I have to go back to Chrysler and beg them for one of these and just install it in the engine bay, because yeah, this one is too big. But you see, that's the principle. The center goes out, and then when you push it in, it pushes these, make them wider, and that's how they stay put. But for this to work, the hole has to be big enough, right? So what I have there, it's much smaller. But you see, this one has a missing center piece. Center pin just broke out. Maybe actually, wait a second. So maybe it just goes out? No, it's not supposed to get out completely. It's supposed to stay in there. So which means that I broke it. Alright, so that would be the last thing I'll just have to do to return things back to the way they were. But yeah, this was not a very easy upgrade. You have to be, you know, you have to show some finesse. And the most important thing, guys, if you're doing this and you're not very experienced just like me, if you're not sure that, you know, at a point where you see that nothing is happening, just stop. Because if you break something like that, like if you break that plastic connector, you screwed, you know. Like DiabloSport wants $600 US if you send them a PCM with a broken plastic. And there's no way to repair that. You'll have to buy a new one, and it's just a nightmare, you know. So if you're not sure if something is not going, like one of those connectors are not disconnecting the way they should, just like I saw when I was watching the guy doing that, he was just wiggling them, you know. He just was, of course you need space. So on this car, on the Challenger, I highly recommend that you remove the sway bar. So this is 2018 Challenger. Maybe they changed it on 2019, but on 2018, I suggest you loosen those 3 bolts and remove the sway bar before you attempt anything with the PCM. And under no circumstances use any screwdrivers or any knives or anything trying to pry it open, because it'll just make it crooked. And that's it, it'll be stuck, and you can damage connectors, you can damage the plastic saddle over there where it sits. So anyway, thanks for watching. Sorry for the long video. Now back to my trucking life. So now we have to find money for more mods on the Challenger, and the way I make money is with my semi-truck moving heavy equipment, tracked, wheeled, dozers, wheel loaders, excavators, pile drivers, you name it. Ciao.